Alright, YouTubers, I figured I would do a review, let me get them out, of the Copper Chef pans. Bingo. And I'm doing them in the RV because that's where I use them. And so, I got these out, and I got out the Induction cooktop because that's what I usually use them on. Now I want to say here at the beginning, I don't work for Copper Chef, I don't work for New Wave, I use some of their products. I'm not going to get compensated in any way. I'm just going to try to give you the best honest review I can of these products. And I bought them with my own money. Now this is the point where you're always going to get those people, because, you know, it's the internet, where they're going to say you're a liar, your pans aren't dirty enough, you never use them, and you're just a shill for Copper Chef. I don't know how to help people like that. You know, I know the internet's messed up and you can't always believe a lot of what you see. But if you're that jaded, just move along now, because there's no way for me to convince you that I'm just trying to do my best to give an honest review of these products. So, it's a great big internet. Good luck to you. All right, now that they're gone, we can have an actual conversation. But it's important to me to always say that, because you watch some reviews and you can tell they're either working for the company. In my RV cooking videos, I get asked about these pans a lot, so I figured I would do a review to see how they're holding up. I think some people can do reviews even if they're paid for, but I like, personally, when I watch a review, I like to see when somebody has no stake in it, so that's where I am. So we'll start off at the very beginning, because that's the best place to start, is, would I recommend these? Well, sorta. Mostly. Are these non-stick? Well, mostly. If you can see on here, they're very thin, lightweight. I like that about them. You can see that there's some scratch marks. I think this pan here, I'll try to get it close. There's one, if I get it in the right light, I can see it. I got one little scratch, one little divot in it. But for me, they're holding up great, because I do use these most of the times. There's some things they're very good at, and some things, not so much. I bought these for one reason and one only. They are non-stick, and they work on induction. And when I'm in my RV, as often as I can, I try to use free electricity if I'm paying for it instead of my propane. So, as I said at the beginning, the bottom of my pans are pretty clean, because almost exclusively they get used on this induction. I also try to be clean and take care of things. I think you have to be very gentle with these, and I've tried to be that. Okay, so I'm going to show you here in a second. I have family that bought a set of them about 4 months before I did, and they use theirs on gas. And again, I've used mine on gas maybe 2-3 times, and on a regular electric stovetop a couple 3 times, but the majority on the induction. But their pans have had more issues than I've had. So checking out this other set of pans, they say they're still very happy with them and they perform well. Their bigger pan, they don't have any problems with it. It's good to go. They did show that the smaller pan has gotten discolored. It actually looks pretty bad, but they say it's still totally non-stick and they haven't had problems with things sticking. And as you can see, because they use gas, it seems like the bottoms of their pans have shown a lot more wear. So there you go. In a sense, you're almost getting like 2 different reviews. You're getting a review of my pans that I've used a lot, and you're getting a review of somebody else's pans and how they've been used differently. I think mine are holding up a little bit better. I'm guessing because it's only been on induction, and I really am pretty careful with them. So, they say that these are non-stick. That's true. Kinda. I've had a couple things, and maybe I'm not that much different than everybody else, where you get something cooking on a pan, and you get distracted, and you don't stir it for a couple minutes. Things will stick to this. Things will stick to this. You can scrape it off, and you can wash them super easy. But if you're cooking with it, food can stick to it, and I don't know about you, but once I get a little burn on my food, I don't like to mix it in. So, them telling you it won't stick, kind of true. I've never deep fried in this. I personally wouldn't do it. I know other people say they'll do it fine. I don't know, they just don't seem good for that to me. Never been in a dishwasher, mainly because I'm in the RV all the time. And I'm old school, and I never seem to put any of my pans in a dishwasher. This induction plate spreads the heat around pretty well, not perfectly, but pretty well. You can usually see the marks of the center ring when you're cooking with these. And that's where, if you ever do get anything to stick to it, that's where it will stick. But for the most part, I will say these are very good non-stick pans. Follow the directions. Obviously, a lot of people, if you go look at reviews, you're going to see some that think, these are the greatest pans the world has ever seen. And you're going to see others that say they're garbage. I'm going to say they're in the middle. And when I say that, would I recommend them, and I say kind of, to me, the only reason why I would buy these is because of the induction aspect of it. Being able to have a lightweight, induction, non-stick pan when I'm traveling in my RV is awesome. If I was not using induction, I honestly think I would probably buy a different set of pans. If you're not using induction, I think you can probably find pans that are at least as good, if not a little bit better, at the same price, if not a little cheaper. If you're looking for induction pans, if induction is your key, then in my opinion, I think these are the pans for you. Now, if you're only on this channel to watch this review, you won't see a lot of my other cooking videos, but I think if you were to, you would see that he really does use these pans a lot. These are the pans I use most of the time. I have one other frying pan that I'll use sometimes, or a couple other pans that I use, because in my opinion, there is something that these don't do well. I don't think these boil things very well. Especially on the induction, these pans are slow to get a good boil, and they don't seem to get a good rolling boil. So when I need to boil anything, I use this. It's just one of those old Farberware, and it works on my induction with a big plate, but it's non-stick. So if I'm going to boil, this is usually the pan that I use. Because not everything's perfect. It will do it, I just don't think it's as good as this. It comes with a basket with a steamer. I've also never done that because having read reviews, and just if you were to buy these and you look at them, the non-stick coating is really thin. So I've tried to be very careful, and I think putting that metal steam basket in there, I think you're just asking for ways to scratch these pans. If you're gentle with them, I've had these 9 months now, used them a lot, and I believe they've held up really well. The bottom of mine are not all dirty as some of them are, and I really think it's because of the induction. Because I haven't used it on gas enough to really mess up the pan. And I try to keep things clean. I do my best not to make a mess of it. I can tell you that something I don't like to admit, being in the RV, there are times that I use a pan, I wipe it out, and it doesn't get washed until the next day. That's kind of gross, but it's honest, and they've still held up well. But you can see that circular pattern where the heat plate is, and there are hot spots in these pans. If that would bother you, that's something to know. You will get hot spots around here, and when I've had anything stick, it's basically along the outline of that heat plate. They also make claims that you can put these straight in the oven and use them in the oven. I don't have any reason to say it's not true. I've never done it. I want to show again though. If you can see, hopefully, if I get the light right, you can see there is where the coating has flaked off along the tops, and that's from putting the lid on and off, but I have no marks inside. The handles, they can get a little hot. They do conduct the heat a little bit, so you have to be careful. When I show in my cooking videos, I never bang anything against the edge of this because I do think they are that thin. So if I bang a spoon or a ladle or anything, I bang it against that handle. I think you have to treat these very gently, which seems to be a recurring theme in this video. If you're like Chef and you throw pans around, not that it's a bad thing, but these are not the pans I think you want to do that for. These will bang up. But if you're RVing and you're looking for lightweight and you're looking for something that cleans up easy, these really do clean up easy, then those are the good points of it. So, in wrapping up, would I recommend these? Yes, kind of. Mainly if you're wanting to use induction. I think if you want induction, they're great. Would I recommend these if you're going to use these on a gas stove every day? Sure. But there might be others that you like better. Are these non-stick? Absolutely. Can you get something to stick to them? Yes, you can, because it's the planet Earth. Things stick to things eventually. Are these the most amazing pans ever created, as the infomercial would have you believe? Not really. But they are very good pans. I've been happy with them. So all in all, I will give these 2 thumbs up. Not ecstatic thumbs up, but these are good, solid pans that should work for you. Unless you're going to use Induction, I think you can find other pans that you'll be just as happy with, that you won't have to be as mindful. Maybe I'm over cautious or over careful because they're mid-range price-wise. To me, they were a decent amount of money, and I wanted to take care of them. So it's caused me to be a little bit more ginger with them than I normally, because once you get them in your hand, they really are pretty thin. And, you know, if you get lightweight, if you want something that's lightweight, well, you have to make it thinner. So everything's a trade-off. I hope some of you find that helpful. I guess it's a weird review for me because I really do like these pans, but I'm a little reticent to tell everybody, no matter what surface you're going to use these pans on, to go buy a set, if that makes any sense. But hopefully, again, you found that helpful, and if you get a set of pans like this, you can cook yourself some nice meals and have a great and wonderful day.